Hello, I'm a gloomy geek, and today I need to get something out of my chest while I eat a frozen Pop-Tart and randomly browse the web for videos of fat cats. Ever since the Cobra Kai Season 5 trailer came out, I realized that I've talked about almost everybody of importance, wrote a few theories, and had some fun creative ideas of how the upcoming season could end. Yet there is one character that I haven't been, let's say, fair with, and that's Miguel. He is the reason why a lot of the events of the 5th season will happen, and I have been treating him like some sort of party pooper, mostly mentioning the fact that he had bailed out of the tournament. I even theorized about him becoming asshole-ish in Mexico, so today I'm going to dive a little deeper into his intentions, and how he arrived at such a state of mind. Maybe this will help those who are not sure why he did what he did, and probably bring some insight into what Miguel is about to do in the near future. So let's begin. Miguel Diaz was the new face of the Karate Kid for a long time, before falling from grace. He grew from an annoying kid that was bullied almost every day at school, to becoming the All-Valley Karate Champion when his first story arc came to a close. This miraculous transformation was only possible because of his sensei Lawrence, who took him under his wing as the first student in the modern Cobra Kai dojo. Lawrence also learned a thing or two from the boy, subtle pieces of knowledge that made him into a better teacher and an even better person. Remember that Johnny was trying to pull himself together and get out of a bad losing streak, so their relationship became emotionally symbolic. Just after winning the tournament, their relationship was as tight as it could be. Young Mr. Diaz was grateful for everything his sensei taught him, and Johnny was thankful for him being the spark that brought back his dojo and put him in the winner's circle again. It looked like there was nothing that could interfere with their relationship. It was all smiles and high fives until the end of the first tournament. All of a sudden, Johnny started to change when he saw his son getting beat up in the competition, introducing the concept of mercy to the Cobras for the first time, which was a shocker for his students. Kindness went against Lawrence's policies that he spent the entire previous season teaching his students. Strike first, strike hard, no mercy. This change of heart confused Miguel, and so he confronted Johnny about it. But in a stroke of brilliance, Mr. Lawrence diffused the situation with a well-devised speech about him trying to change for his sake, to make the boy a better person than he ever was.
I wasn't taught the difference between mercy and honor, and I paid the price for it. If I'm extra hard on you, it's only because you have the potential to be better than I ever was.
Johnny's little pep talk may have sorted things out for a bit, but I'm sure Miggy still had his doubts. Why all of a sudden did his trusted sensei change his way of teaching? And why was he so adamant about using the bouts he and Hawk had against Robbie as an example? Regardless of how good Johnny made him feel with his pretext, the seed of suspicion was planted, and it was just a matter of time until things got worse. Johnny thought that he had successfully kept his personal life a secret, but he dropped the ball when he left old family photos and memories lying around his apartment, and where the person who would be most affected by them could easily see them. So yeah, Miguel discovered that Robbie was Johnny's son, giving sense to Miguel's suspicion of why Johnny turned soft. It's because his team injured his own son. The series wasn't clear on how much this affected Miguel emotionally at the time, but the truth is that when Miguel made that discovery, the boy started to see Robbie as a competitor, a rival, not only in karate, but also for Johnny Lawrence's attention. I'm sure that Mr. Diaz felt like he needed to defend his territory, because in his mind, there was no way in hell he was going to let that punk replace him, even if said delinquent was his sensei's own flesh and blood. This was the first chink in the armor in Johnny and Miguel's relationship. Miguel did try to keep things working and give Johnny's change of heart a chance, but it all blew up on them both after the school fight happened. The incident resulted in Miguel being hospitalized with the risk of never being able to walk again, all because he accepted his sensei's new vision and showed mercy.
Did what you taught me? I showed mercy? Why did this happen to me?
Afterward, Miguel was disappointed in his sensei, but Johnny is not giving up, and after brute forcing it like he always does, he mends their relationship by helping the boy recover little by little, getting him back into shape, though it was not always pretty.
Shake a leg.
I can't.
You can if you want it.
No, it's all that I want!
Then focus. Tell your brain to tell your legs to get their asses moving.
After Miguel recovered, things looked as if they were back on track. Eagle Fang was slowly taking shape, and Johnny even found a new sense of camaraderie with his old rival Daniel after they fought Kreese at the Cobra Kai dojo. Miguel now had every reason to be proud of his sensei, and once again the master and student bond seemed to be unbreakable. That's until things started to go down the poop drain again, when the Miyagi-Do and Eagle Fang merger turns sour after Johnny gets jealous of Daniel for teaching Miguel.
Oh, so now you know what's best for Miguel.
I'm just saying.
You know what your problem is? You think one win by 1 point 30 years ago makes you better than me.
Johnny.
Understand that Miguel is growing up, and after seeing what Miyagi-Do has to offer, he wants to learn what he can from Daniel to complement his skills and knowledge. But Johnny starts to act petty and gets in the way of Miguel learning from the Miyagi-Do master. The man goes as far as to challenge Daniel to a final match. It was like pouring acid on the students, especially Miguel and Sam. The kids just didn't want their dojos to split up. As the final match goes on, you can see on the students' faces how disgusted they were, particularly Miguel, who had a bitter and sad expression on his face. Sometime after the dojos parted ways, Miguel received an emotional beating comparable to the ass beat Johnny received, courtesy of Silver when he baited him to the vintage Cobra Kai dojo. First, Miguel discovers that his mother and Johnny were romantically involved, making things awkward. Then on top of that, he didn't have a good time at the prom after party, to say the least. This is when the boy desperately needed a father the most, because he is feeling lost. But what does he find? A drunk and beaten up Johnny, who not only failed to rise to the occasion and be Mickey's rock, but mistook him for Robbie in his drunken stupor and completely breaking the boy's heart.
I love you too, Robbie.
The pain made Miguel think that nothing mattered between him and Johnny anymore, because Robbie had won without even trying. Still, he needed to be strong and fight in the upcoming tournament, and he did just that. He held his head high and tried to bring his A-game to the competition, but couldn't shake off the painful feeling inside of him that wouldn't let him concentrate. To make things worse, Johnny was oblivious to what was happening with Miguel, as in he forgot what he said when he was drunk. First, Johnny thought that Miguel was just uneasy because he had problems with Sam. Then the man had the gall to try and coax Miguel into fighting in the semis, even though he was injured. In Miguel's head, this meant that the man he trusted for such a long time had learned nothing, and only cared about winning just to show Daniel and the Cobras who was boss. This may not be how Johnny really felt, but his choice of words was the worst he could have used in this kind of situation. It was the straw that broke the camel's back. After this, Miguel lost his edge and was convinced that he had to search for his real dad to find himself, or at the very least get some closure. This is why I think that Miguel will have a positive and hopeful outlook while in Mexico City. That is, at least until the first thug throws the first punch. It is also worth noting that in the trailer, we see Miguel back at the valley, but he keeps a tight and defensive posture. This could mean that even if the trip to Mexico helped mend things with Johnny, the rest of his life is an emotional mess. Miguel might still feel lost, looking for that spark that can turn him into the man he is supposed to be. Right now, Miguel feels fatherless again, disappointed in every paternal figure that tried to be a part of his life. He feels misunderstood and will do anything to change that, even if it means going straight into the lion's den in search of answers. Is it foolish or courageous? I'll let you decide. I'm a gloomy geek,